Safi'Jiiva is the first raid-type boss released in Master Rank. If you're familiar with Cole, then you'll be familiar with Safi'Jiva, in that the entire lobby can work together to earn additional points that contribute to additional rewards on slaying Safi. This guide will go through the following. First, how to most reliably clear Safi in one pursuit, along with some gear recommendations. Second, how to maximize rewards if you're playing with many people in the lobby. Finally, how the upgrade system for Safi weapons work. Let's get started. Safi has his own health pool, but he will periodically regenerate some of his health based off the energy from the land around him. This is most apparent on subsequent clears, as if an area is fully drained, he will not heal and simply move on. In this regard, you'll have to consistently deal damage to him until he'll move on from one area to the next. Let's take a look at some sample gear setups. Note that I'm going to assume that you're going to be growing into some of these setups, as they almost all involve some Safi armor. Don't worry, if you're following the guide, this just means 2 pursuits rather than 1 until you're fully geared up. The core of the team is the gunner, capable of breaking the wings, back legs, and even helping with the head. This position is the one setup I've seen that has been able to actually solo the entire quest. Make it a priority to have 1 or 2 of these on the team to ensure you're dealing enough damage for a single clear. This setup uses the Safi Aqua Shot to shoot a near non-stop stream of water shot across Safi. By aiming at the top of the legs with water shot, you're able to focus damage across elementally weak areas, while still remaining very mobile. During regeneration phases, you can also take time to drop Wyvern Blast, so you're able to keep up some damage even then. Here's a shot of my skills and bowgun modifications that I use. The second position to fill is a hunting horn user. By encoring attack up large, they increase the overall damage on everyone by their team by 20%. Safi generally leaves his back legs stationary, leaving the hunting horn plenty of time to play echo notes. Beyond this, Safi takes 2,000 damage per poison application, and 4,000 damage if you're using the Rathian set bonus. This really adds up over the course of the quest. While you can make a Safi poison hunting horn to help, I'd argue the most poison you'll get is by using poison smoke bombs. You can trigger the first poison with just 2 of them, adding 1 for each subsequent application. Note that if you are going to use the Rathian set bonus, that other players on the hunt should not be poisoning or applying poison smoke bombs, as it will not trigger the extended poison. Sorry guys, leave the gold Rathian weapons at home. Here's a shot of the skills and setup for a poison hunting horn user. Assuming you have 2 gunners and 1 hunting horn user, this leaves the last spot flexible. Ideally, this player is the one that will be maximizing part breaks that would otherwise be difficult or inconvenient to get. For the first 2 levels, I'd suggest this be a hammer user. Safi's head is worth a ton of points fully broken, and impact is by far the most useful damage type to accomplish this. Considering it helps with part breaking, consider bringing a blast hammer. Utilize knockdowns to perform Big Bang, and use ledges in the second area for aerial attacks. Considering you're focusing the head, make sure to flinch shot Safi to take control of aggro, so your hunting horn or gunners are not being targeted. Here's a shot of the skills and setup for a blast hammer user. The final area changes things up a bit. Safi will periodically go into a super critical state. In this state, lots of things get flipped around. First, impact is now more effective on the front legs rather than the back, and vice versa for cutting. the chest becomes a massive weak spot. The tail also becomes much weaker. At this point, you should prioritize the following, assuming you've been following the guide. First, if you haven't done so already, continue to break the head. Second, break the chest, which, between the gunners and hunting horn user, should be relatively easy. Finally, consider cutting the tail. This may be difficult for just one hunter, so you may want to have one of the gunners switch out to help, or rely on another team to do this. Additionally, you may want to have your hunting horn and other melee users switch to dragon Safi weapons in the final phase. While it's still somewhat unclear, it appears that Elder Seal drains an area of some amount of energy. While this doesn't help much on floors 1 and 2 because Safi leave those before they're fully drained, you must fully drain floor 3 to get the single clear. The only warning I can give is that Safi sure does like to do multiple novas in a row when all cover is gone. We've done a lot of testing, and the only thing I can really recommend is try to bring flash bombs or farcasters if you see this happening, while also eating for insurance and safeguard. Assuming you're in a lobby with other teams, consider coordinating breaks with them. For example, your team could dedicate a person to cutting the tail, while their team could dedicate someone to breaking the wings. This will free up more time and positions for people to deal ideal damage to Safi, while everyone will get at least partial credit for those breaks. If you were to spread those breaks up over teams, it might look something like the first team will have the wings broken using Aqua Shot on the front webbings. The second team will have the tail cut, prioritizing cutting weapons in the final phase. And the third team will focus on breaking the back, either using the Aqua Shot or mounting attacks. I'm assuming every team will always go for their own head and chest breaks, considering how valuable those are. And considering how much damage the chest takes during supercritical state, you should all be focusing it then anyway. If you're going for a group clear strategy, it's important for teams to be working together and starting at the same time. If you fail the quest, do not start over, as this will throw the timing off. Wait for the lead teams to finish the clear, or for everyone to start over again. Upon a Safi being killed in the lobby, you can then collect your rewards. You'll be given a random assortment weapons to choose from, with several options guaranteed based on the weapon you have equipped when you claim the rewards. If you're a collector, keep this in mind. For melee users, rewards build up while putting Safi energy into weapons using Dracolite. They follow the broad categories of attack, sharpness, element or status, an armor set bonus, and defense. For most melee weapons outside of dual blades, it's hard to make a mistake assuming 3 or 4 out of the 5 of the upgrades are attack, if not all attack. I personally enjoy running 4 levels of attack, with my level 6 augment being on attack, and a level 5 sharpness. This gives me a ton of usable white sharpness, some purple sharpness with protective polish, and the flexibility of using full Safi armor. If you hate sharpening and never want to sharpen again, you can replace sharpness or an attack bonus with the Teoster set bonus, freeing you up to use the Teoster set bonus with your Safi set. Assuming you only want to augment one weapon type of each for melee, I'd recommend going with Blast if this is the case. If you're augmenting bow, go all element. For dual blades, you could go attack or element, but in most cases you'll probably end up dealing more damage focusing on element. I could go on a lot longer, but this covers about 95% of what you need to know about Safi. If you have more questions or absolutely want to follow up, well, blow me up in the comments. Maybe check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/sdshepherd. Otherwise, until next time, this is Shepherd, saying good luck and have a good hunt.